They're getting drunk. They're getting drunk. They're a bunch of idiots getting drunk, talking about conspiracy theories. There's really not much more to it than that. You're listening to Drunk Theory.
Hey, what are y'all waiting on?
I don't know. Welcome to Drunk Theory. I'm Kara.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Ryan.
And today we are talking about 90s bullshit. Because it's Rex Manning.
It's Rex Manning Day. And that matters to some of us.
I said it at work the other day, and there were 3 of us in the room. 2 of us understood. So I feel like the majority of people.
Probably not the majority. Yeah.
The majority of my work people.
In my Friday meeting today, I was like, Happy Rex Manning Day, and like I feel like my boss and maybe one other person knew, but nobody else. Like, I don't know who the fuck that is. But also, they're just used to my eccentricities.
They just smile and nod.
Yeah, I feel like that's something.
Awesome. Alright, what are we drinking?
We are drinking Tito's Classic Cosmo. So, for this drink, you are going to need 1.5 ounces of Tito's vodka, which is fantastic, by the way. And they're not paying us to say this, but we do drink it all the time. 1 ounce of orange liqueur, 3/4 ounces of lime juice, a splash of cranberry juice. You're going to shake all that shit together and strain it into a martini glass and garnish with a slice of lime. I think it's yummy. Kara thinks it is heartburn in a glass.
It was good. It was good though. So I drank one, and then I tried to.
Yeah, Kara modified the recipe.
I tried to modify it. It was so gross.
It did not go so well.
Alright, so who wants to go first? Matt, what are you drinking? Are you with us, or are you cut off?
I'm drinking a Paloma.
I know. I'm gonna make you say it every time.
And I am cut off.
It don't matter. I'll still hear you. I'll pick it up.
Right.
Oh, I did think though. So the Paloma is tequila, and then that weirdo is grapefruit soda. Or
Grapefruit soda.
Have you tried substituting the grapefruit soda with the peach monster? Because I feel like that would be so good.
That might be good.
That sounds good as shit, right?
I might have to do that because we're almost out of the grapefruit sodas.
Who wants to go first?
I feel like we need to start with Paul Rubens because I feel like that is the more entertaining of the two.
Oh, well, that's
That-
it's kind of sad, isn't it? It's like, baby just jacking off. Alright.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
So, in honor of the coolest things that happened in the 90s, I want to talk about Pee Wee Herman getting busted jacking off at a fucking theater in Florida. So this happened in July 1991. He was actually arrested for indecent exposure at an adult theater in Sarasota, Florida. I meant to look it up. Are adult theaters still a thing today?
Yes.
Why does my husband know?
Do we have any here?
Not that I know of.
Florida definitely does.
Apparently
though.
he's been looking. So
Well, I'm from Florida, and we have those like all over the place. So
That's just weird to me. That's wild. But I mean, whatever.
yeah, we don't have that shit here. As far as I know, like
I guess it'd be like underground, like where you gotta knock on the door and know the secret word or whatever.
maybe.
But anyway, so in July 1991, he gets arrested for indecent exposure because he was jacking off at a adult theater. I did not find the name of the theater, nor did I find the movie that he was watching. I
would like to know both of those.
I need to know both of those things. I don't know if that information is readily available. But, so because of this, like, all of his major projects stopped. He was not invited to be a part of anything. However, not 3 months after his arrest, he was the opening guy at the MTV Video Music Awards. And he opened the show, and he just goes, "I ain't heard any good jokes lately," and he got a standing ovation.
How many people did he slap?
None.
What?
I know. Slapping. We didn't slap people in the 90s. We just, like, made fun of their moms and shit.
Like, I find it fucking fascinating how many people in the 90s just got fucking canceled from whacking off or from, like, getting blowjobs. Like, that was the worst thing that was happening in the 90s, apparently.
Well, that's when cornflakes were really pushing their shit. You gotta stop that shit. But so he was not allowed, he was not invited, I guess, or whatever, to be in any major projects. Like, if he had anything going on, it was immediately fucking canceled. The first two things that he did after he got busted for whacking off in a fucking adult theater was Mystery Men and Blow. And to me, that's just hilarious. But other than that, I've got some, so Pee-wee's Playhouse.
So when did Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, where did that fit in? Cause
That was probably around the same time. What year was Buffy?
Buffy. Oh, like the movie.
Yeah.
the movie, he was in the movie, he was...
That would have been
1990 probably.
92, 93-ish.
Maybe, I wonder if he had already filmed it. So Pee-wee's Playhouse started September 13th, 1986, and it ran for 5 years. It stopped in 1991, the year that he got busted for jacking off.
Yeah, because you can't have a kid's show if you jack
Can't
off.
have a kid's show if you're fucking caught whacking off. But so I just wrote down some facts about Pee-wee's Playhouse. He actually did not own that suit. Somebody named Gary Austin loaned him that suit, and then he just never gave it back. Pee-wee's debut on-screen appearance was actually on The Dating Game in 1979, and he got the girl. His first, though, big TV appearance, he played a rude hotel employee in Cheech and Chong's next movie in 1980.
I
don't remember which one
I
that
know
is.
I saw it.
I get all of the Cheech and Chong's, like, bamboozled together. I don't know which is which.
For me, it's Up in Smoke is like the one that pops in my memory, but I know I saw next movie. I'll have to go back.
Tim Burton directed Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Did y'all fucking know
No,
that?
I did not know that.
I knew that.
Rob Zombie and John Singleton. John Singleton was the director of Boys in the Hood. They worked as production assistants on Pee-wee's Playhouse. I had no idea that was the thing either. They gave Rubens full creative control of Pee-wee's Playhouse for all 5 seasons, and there were only a few times where they asked him to change things. One of them, apparently, like the fire alarm goes off, and so like a firefighter comes, and he don't see no smoke alarm. And she's like, there's one in my bedroom above my bed, and they made her change it, so there's one in the kitchen. But like, he never got in trouble for trying to do weird shit. He kept it like it was a kid's show. He kept it, he was
He kept
cool.
it in public, in theaters, where it belonged.
Where it
you had
belongs.
you had a sense of community. You were all there together.
Everybody's here jacking off. Why is he the only one that got arrested? Why was
Exactly.
it not a fucking raid is what I want to know. Was he by himself? Because that's discrimination. Where are his lawyers?
Yeah, like, I had wondered about that.
And if he was by himself, then is it
This
really
isn't that-
public jacking off?
Isn't that the purpose of,
an
those,
adult
of,
theater?
of those theaters? I mean, I don't know, but...
You would think. I don't get it. I'm going to have to do more research. Is somebody, anybody?
Yeah, we don't understand.
So, Pee-wee's Playhouse actually won 15 Emmys during its 5-year run. 2 of those Emmys went to Miss Yvonne's hair.
How is that a thing?
I have no idea. I should have done more research. Also, his real name never appears in the credits because they wanted it to look like Pee Wee Herman was a real person. So in the credits, it says Pee Wee Herman as himself. It doesn't say Paul Rubens as. So I thought that was.
I feel like I remember that.
Um.
Because I didn't know who the fuck he was, I think, until Buffy.
They do that with a lot of kids shows.
Yeah.
Oh
To
yeah.
give the illusion that that is the
That's
person.
sweet, and I love
love it.
that. That is amazing. See, we were doing good shit in the 90s. They still do that today.
I don't know kid shows.
I don't either.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's all I got. My work here is done.
Your work here is done. Want to talk about Prince?
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about Prince. Alright, so as it is Rex Manning Day, and I have rewatched Empire Records, my favorite quote, I guess, out of Empire Records is, "Damn the man, save the Empire." So, in Empire Records, the man is Music Town, and Music Town is kind of the big bad corporate record store that's taking over their small indie, awesome place where they all work. So, if you had asked Prince during the 1990s, he would have said that Warner Brothers was the man. His contract disputes with Warner Brothers led to what Rolling Stone magazine would rank as the 4th boldest career move in rock history. So I did go and I looked at what would be 3, 2, and 1 because I knew that would be
I was about to ask.
an ask. So before I get into what Prince did, I'm gonna get into what these other people did. So number 3, Garth Brooks transformed
Chris Gaines.
So this is bold, not necessarily good. I guess.
Terrible idea.
Yeah. Number 2, Neil Young goes new wave, which I don't really know anything about, so I don't have any opinion on.
Did you leave that shitty music on Spotify?
Well, no, that just happened. Like,
Oh, but did he also remove his new wave music from Spotify, or can you still get it?
oh, I have no idea. And Bob Dylan gets born again is number 1. So he becomes a born again Christian, which I also have no idea how that impacts anything because I don't listen to Bob Dylan. So Prince had signed with Warner Brothers in 1977 when he was 18. And he was kind of a marvel. Like, he played everything himself. And, he did everything himself. And they recognized what a fucking talent he was. So they signed him to a 3-album, 6-figure contract, which is one of the largest ever for a new artist. So it's not like he was being fucked on the money. Like, from, because we're going to talk about the disputes later. It was never about the money. So he started releasing an album. And Prince made music all the fucking time. Like, that's all the fuck he did. So he had, like, backlogs and backlogs, and he was like, release. And eventually, in 1993, Warner Brothers said, we need to stop releasing so much Prince music. You're saturating the market. People are going to get fucking tired of you. And he was like, bullshit!
Have they ever done that before? Like or since then, have they?
I have no idea.
Because I feel like I don't listen to radio anymore, but I remember when, like, all you heard was fucking Linkin Park. Like, every other song was a fucking Linkin Park song. Did they go to Linkin Park and tell them to stop making so much fucking music?
I have no fucking idea. But, and Linkin Park, like, the time period was shorter. So, for Prince, we're talking like 1977 to 1993. And apparently he released albums every year except for 1983. Which I don't know what happened in 1983. But it's like album. It's like, Prince's pumping out music. They're like, people are going to get fucking tired of you. But he's like, I got all this fucking music and I want to fucking release it. And it kind of pissed him off that he didn't have the control to release it. So what he started doing is that he started performing with Slave written on his cheek. Do y'all remember that?
I do not.
I absolutely remember this.
Yeah, it was like SL, the A was above the B. It was like a whole thing, like almost like the Prince symbol-ish written, but not. It was a whole thing.
So he started performing with Slave written on his cheek. But he was flamboyant as fuck, and, he was theatrical. And it didn't get the response that he wanted. Like, he wanted people to ask him, like, why are you a slave? And people didn't. It's just like, oh, Prince is doing a thing.
Prince is doing a thing.
So that didn't go anywhere. As Prince said, Prince is the name that my mother gave me at birth. Warner Brothers took the name, trademarked it, and used it as the main marketing tool to promote all of the music that I wrote. He said, the company owns the name Prince and all related music marketed under Prince. I became merely a pawn used to make money for Warner Brothers. So, at this point, he decides that he's going to change his name to the unpronounceable symbol, and he became known as the artist formerly known as Prince.
Did he ever tell people like how to pronounce this symbol?
There is no pronunciation for this
He's
symbol.
just like, this is it.
No. It is a love symbol. So it's like a combination of a whole bunch of cultures and a whole bunch of things, and yeah, there is no.
I wasn't.
Yeah, there is no pronunciation for it. But I know that Warner Brothers still had a contract with him, so they had to like order special software to make the fonts to make the symbol, so they could release statements about him because he's still their artist.
So he legally changed his name. Like he went to court and legally changed his name. That's on his driver's license?
No. He just
Not
he just released music under that. I don't think he changed his actual name. So yeah, he has the unpronounceable symbol. He is recording records. He fulfilled his remaining contract obligations, which I think was like he had to record 2 more records as Prince to get out of the contract with Warner Brothers, and he broke his he broke ties with Warner Brothers in 1996. In 2000, Prince was able to get his name back because the last of the contracts expired. So, up until 2000, Warner Brothers still had the trademark, and they still had some publishing rights to Prince's music. And in 2000, everything was gone. So, at that point, he was able to go back and start using his name again. So, after that, Prince began to fight with Warner Brothers again about his masters. So they had control of his masters. And I have no idea in terms of like music contracts if that's common or
That's
not.
where I was going. So
Okay.
they didn't just one day go without his knowledge and trademark his name. He sold that shit.
Right.
I don't feel sorry for you guys. You can't sell your shit and then get mad that they have your shit.
And we can talk about that in just a
But
minute.
that's not what he was mad about. He was mad that he couldn't release as much music as he wanted.
So, to end this out in terms of his shit with Warner Brothers, so he fought for years to regain control of his masters. He re-signed with them in 2014 to produce more albums with them. In exchange, he would own the masters, and then he was all happy about, Warner Brothers. It's like, I hope we have wonderful things together. And then I think he died a couple of years later.
I was about to ask if he was still alive. I couldn't remember.
No, he died.
POD.
Yeah, fentanyl overdose.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I was kind of feeling that too, and a lot of other people were as well.
Well, I honestly didn't know that's why he changed his name. I thought he was just going through some shit and was like, hey, I'm changing my name. And that feels better to me. Like, he just went nuts and decided to change his name. That's fine.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to fucking sign a paper that says and then cry about it and then try to make a big deal. Like,
But he also tried to recruit a lot. Like, in terms of recruiting other artists to, like, fight back against their contracts. And a lot of people were like, nah, we're alright, dude.
yeah, I mean.
And then, like, I know that, like, when the internet thing came up, like, I remember seeing a whole shitload of, like, Metallica being the bad guys, and we don't want our music on the internet and stuff.
Yeah, they've ruined Napster for me. We actually talked about this at work the other day.
But-
Metallica.
Prince was apparently just as fucking bad. Well, I don't want to say just as bad, because I kind of feel like they have the right to make their money. But he did a lot of shit, too, so the kind of the landmark thing that he did was, landmark as in being bad, a woman had released a video on YouTube of her little toddler, like, dancing to one of his songs, and he demanded that it be taken down
Copyright strike.
because he did not
Did
allow.
he, or did the company, because he doesn't even own the masters of his own music?
That's true. So I've wondered that before, too. Like, if and I've had a ton of videos
I know-
pulled off of
I know
YouTube.
you
Like,
have.
I get emails all the time. They're like, yeah, this is coming down. I got one the other day
Yeah.
from a video that I posted 18 years ago.
Well,
It's
Everything
just
I'm
now a
looking at-
problem. It's been on there 18 years.
Everything
y'all.
I'm looking at says that it was very much Prince's thing. He did not want anybody using his music. He did not want it on streaming things. Like,
But in the end,
But-
that would be up to Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah, in the
well, no, after he owned it.
After he owned it.
Yeah,
So he
because
already
he-
had his shit back with the YouTube lady.
in the
Fuck him
end,
again,
it
that's
comes
stupid.
down to who actually owns the music. So if the record label owns the music, it's their call. If the artist owns it, it's the artist's call.
Yeah. I've never understood the people that get all haywire about YouTube videos because you know how many TikTok videos I've seen that have cool ass music in the background that I've never fucking heard that then I go and fucking download because I like that song.
But
Yeah.
That's
TikTok,
free advertising for you. Like,
TikTok
why are you
is
bitching?
from a different country. That's why they can't really shut that down yet.
But
They
that's what
would
I'm
if they
saying.
could.
But it does them a good. Like, I find shit that I never would have found otherwise. Like, so maybe somebody saw this toddler dancing and was like, "Holy shit, what is that? I like that song," and now they've bought your shit.
It was,
But-
let's go crazy.
Also, TikTok
Yeah.
does short videos, so it would be a snippet. And yeah, it might drive you to go download that song, but versus like a YouTube video where it might be the whole song in the background,
Yeah,
I can download it and then pirate it.
yeah. Being able to download it, I guess, fucks them over. But which I've actually looked into because you can use up to 17 seconds or it's something weird that they can't say shit
Yeah.
about. It's just like you can use this much or whatever.
And
Or
while he
parody.
was
You can
alive,
parody
like, he
completely.
pulled his music off of everything except for something I think called Tidal, which I've never even heard of.
Title was Jay-Z's
Yeah.
Spotify.
Was it? Yeah.
Awesome.
Like, so he didn't allow his shit to be on anything else at one point. I did check the U.S. Patent and Trade Office, so I went in and looked at Prince. So Prince now is owned by his, I want to say it's, Paisley something, or where the fuck is it? Did I not write it
Paisley Thunderstorm, like Purple Rain, but
I wonder if
it's like a jet side, like right there.
I wonder if Brad Paisley is also on that record label.
I hope so. He better be. I love Brad Paisley.
I bet Chris Gaines is.
God, I feel like we need to talk more about Chris Gaines, but nobody did any research.
Paisley part.
Paisley Park, yes. That is it, yeah. So, yeah. I think that is all I have on that.
Nice. I hate Prince now. So there you go.
Oh,
Thanks for ruining Prince for me, Kelly.
I am so sorry.
Why do you hate
I
Prince?
still like
I
Prince.
didn't know he was a dickwad.
All he did was
Signed a contract and then got mad that he signed a contract. That's what he did. That's exactly what he did.
I think the thing with Prince, like, that she and I agree on, is that his contract was not worse than anybody else's contract. Like,
It was not worse than anybody else's, but to be fair, record contracts are notoriously predatory to younger artists,
Yeah.
and they
But
woo,
how old was he?
they woo you with a bunch of money, and you don't always read all the fine print. You fuck $200 million, yeah, okay.
he was like 17, but had like played 13 instruments, did everything on his own.
which is
first
why he
album. It was
got one of the
already good
largest
enough.
contracts ever in
Yeah.
history. So
Yeah.
they didn't.
It doesn't.
And he also had the right to produce his own music, which I didn't say.
That
They gave him the right.
doesn't mean it's a good contract though.
Just better than other ones.
If somebody comes around and says, "I'll give you $1 billion to sign this contract," yeah, it's awesome. I'm getting $1 billion where Kara's getting only $1 million in her contract. But at the end of the day, what are the other stipulations of that contract?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a thing, but I mean I guess you have to look at record companies are going to make their money too. You know, I mean that's the thing, and I don't feel like they did anything out of the ordinary. I guess in terms of,
No.
and maybe they.
But that still doesn't justify it, whether it's ordinary or not. It doesn't justify being a shithead. He signed the contract when he was young. As he got older and realized they were shitheads later in life, then he got mad and
Yeah,
said,
that's
"This
another
ain't
thing.
right."
Well, no,
Like-
like his first contract expired after he did 3 records.
That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah.
How long a contract lasts?
Well, his first contract was for 3 records, and he was releasing a album a year. So,
So 3 years.
yeah. So he would have been, I think
But
he was 18 at the first one, 21 at the second.
but
I
maybe
mean,
they were still good to re-sign him. They were being nice to him, and then they re-signed him for a longer contract the next time or whatever. Another 3. And then all of a sudden they became shitheads 2 years into the next one.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not like I'm saying they went from being good today and bad tomorrow. Like, it was just a gradual thing. And as he got older and more affluent in the industry, he realized, hey, I might be getting fucked in this deal. And then he got
just
mad.
because you sign a
about it.
shitty contract doesn't mean anything. You can't sign something that's illegal. You can't say I'm your slave and then sell yourself for $1. It's null and void. It doesn't work that way. Just because it was in a contract doesn't make it legal. Oh, he can't be Prince and perform music. Maybe he just didn't want to argue with them because he was still under contract about it. But that doesn't mean it's shitty on his fault for wanting to play as himself.
We need like some lawyers.
Well, you see this happen.
I find the whole thing fascinating.
It is.
I find trademarks and shit to be fascinating.
You see this happen a lot with bands that change labels and they also have to change their name. Because after a certain point, you know, the label obviously is going to own your masters unless you just have a fucking golden contract. So they own everything. After a while, they can then argue that, you know, we own the rights to even your name because
The name of the band is your name.
we put so much money and time and our people into developing this. All you did was walk around saying this is my name.
So I did look up to see if this is a common thing. Whereas record labels would trademark the name of an artist. And I didn't really get anything. All I got was things like artists need to fucking trademark their names.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if
Okay, so here is just a scenario or whatever. We've filed for trademark for us.
yes,
So if Spotify offered us a contract, they would not have trademark rights to our name. We
No.
would still always keep that.
right.
Yeah.
We keep
Unless
it
we
as,
gave it to them in
Unless
the
we
contract.
sign the contract that gives it to them.
okay, so we keep it as long as we maintain it. So there is a requirement to maintain your trademark, which means you have to actively work and
So as long as we put out an episode every whatever, as long
Yes.
as I tweet something every once in a while, we're good to go.
Yes. Well, as long as we do something in a money-making type venture, like, we produce an episode and we have a buy me a coffee. So that's actually what I used to...
So basically, if you're still actively using it,
Yeah.
you're still good.
So for, you're required to file, maintenance on a trademark, at 5 years and at 10 years and then every 10 years after that. And if you don't file, it becomes dead. And that's the way they classify it, as a dead trademark.
So then anybody else could just use it. Anybody else could just jump in and be like, "We're Drunk Theory now," but it's just
Yeah.
like two old ladies
And
or whatever.
that happens a lot on networks trying to gain viewership on older stuff.
That's what I was about to say. So that's
that
kind
had
of
an
like
attachment.
the way shit becomes public domain after so long if they don't file.
Well, that is actually different because that goes into copyright, which is different than trademark. So copyright after 35 years?
Or is it 50 now? I thought Disney fucked
70.
around and made it 50.
70. They redid again.
Disney be fucking around. They be fucking up
It's
everything.
Oh. Yeah, I don't-
Steamboat.
Steamboat
Mickey
Willie.
finally goes public domain next year, and they have not lobbied for extension yet. So
Nice.
it will go into the.
I can't wait for all the Steamboat
Yeah.
Willie memes.
Yeah,
No, they just
a
started
lot of people
using
mix
the
up
character
copyright and
as a
trademark.
thing now, like in other shit, like reusing it as a new thing. So they're gonna try to redo it probably
Yeah.
with the old shit. You like
Yeah.
the cartoon you can use, but it'll be a whole new thing where they.
That's basically what I was saying. You know, you see that with a lot of networks trying to gain their viewership by, we're going to bring back your favorite show from the 90s. And it's got the same name and everything. You get all
Completely
excited.
different
Yeah.
people and a whole different
Yeah,
storyline.
you get all excited, so they get that initial peak viewership, but then everybody's like, well, this is nothing like fucking
Yeah.
what I was watching in the 90s.
Yeah, and the public domain thing actually came into play with Prince because when he was negotiating getting his masters back and everything, that shit would have already been a lot of it in the public domain anyway, according to the 35-year rule, but no artist had ever tested it before. So it was important to everybody to see how it worked out. And they ended up not going to court or anything, and they just gave it up. And then he agreed to release 2 more albums off of. I think it was 2 more albums. But yeah, at that time it was 35 years in 2014. I can't believe it's 70.
Well, I know I've read 3 or 4 different times where news people will get super excited. They're like, yo, guess what happens this year? This and this and this goes public domain, and every one of them's a Disney thing. And then 2 months later, nope. Pushed it back.
Because Disney's just
pushed it back.
great
Disney ain't doing it. Disney ain't having their bullshit. They're like, no, we
Disney is just like great at paperwork.
I guess. I don't know what it is.
They're not great at paperwork. They're great at spending money.
Yeah.
And they have more of it than fucking anybody.
But that's like, as far as I know, Night of the Living Dead is public domain. We can actually remake Night of the
But
Living
not
Dead.
because
right
of
now.
that. It's because the way movies
He
used to
gave
be.
it up.
No, the way movies used to be, you had to put your name at a certain point on the movie, like in the movie itself. And if you didn't have it at that right part, you lost the copyright, and he didn't do it right.
But then there was a thing that where he could have, and he said no. He wanted to leave it out there for people to redo, which I thought was cool as fuck.
Oh, that's the thing with The Simpsons, like, where the Matt Groening is into The Simpsons' hair or something. Like,
it's the ear. Homer Simpson's ear has the MG.
yeah, I remember seeing that. That's neat as fuck.
This might be our most educational episode.
Yeah,
yet, y'all.
right?
What are we doing? But what else you got?
So, I don't have anything else on Prince, but I do have... So, I looked up, like, the most hated people. So, I'm thinking, you know, damn the man. So, I'm thinking, who's hated in the 90s? So, TV Overmind in 2018 published the 20 most hated celebrities of the 90s. And I'm about to give you that list. And then we can talk about who we think is actually deserving of being on the list. And we can talk about our Twitter poll.
Well, I was about to say, with your Twitter poll, and somebody actually commented, they said that they think a lot of the votes were going the way people feel about the people now, not the way
I think so,
I
too.
voted the way that I feel now. I was not putting myself back in the 90s. I was just like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, I get that too.
It can't
Yeah.
be something they haven't done in the 90s.
But I wasn't going that way. I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, that guy sucks,
No.
that guy sucks, that guy sucks.
No, I totally get that because people were very forgiving of some stuff.
Yeah.
So, in no particular order, the 20 most hated celebrities of the 90s, according to TV Overmind, are Britney Spears, Jerry Halliwell, Courtney Love.
Just the one Spice Girl.
Ginger
though?
Spice or whatever.
Okay, I
Well,
was just.
apparently she left the band and
Oh.
She
fucked
fucked
everybody.
up the Spice Girls.
She's the one that left.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. My bad.
So, Madonna, Mike Tyson, Shannon Doherty, Hugh Grant.
I love you, Grant.
No,
He got caught with like a prostitute while he was
An
married.
ugly
fucking
He was
deal.
married to what's her name, the other actress.
Also,
he was married to a
like a
pretty
big
girl that got
douchebag,
caught
too.
with an ugly girl, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, so people didn't like that.
Divine Brown,
Yeah.
and he was married to the chick from
Elizabeth Hurley.
Yeah. I was trying to think of a movie with Brendan Fraser where she does the witches, but she's actually the devil. You know the one
I
I'm
know what
talking
you're talking about.
Bedazzled.
Bedazzled,
That's
yes.
Alicia Silverstone.
No,
No.
that is not Alicia
No.
Silverstone. It's a brown-headed woman that is not even close to blonde. The girl
Why
he
do I
likes is
think
blonde, but
Alicia
it's also not
Silverstone was in
Alicia
fucking
Silverstone.
Bedazzled?
But also the Austin Powers movie.
Oh, okay.
Is
I
it
know
the
you're talking
first-
about.
Oh
the
yeah,
first one
she's
she's in?
she's the agent in like the first one. Yeah.
Hold on, I got to look up Bedazzled because I could have sworn.
Do you want me to go on with mine?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, so Tanya Harding, O.J. Simpson, Rosie O'Donnell, Winona Ryder, Leanne Rhymes. Apparently, she was a big old hoe that broke up a marriage. Like,
Yeah, and Rosie O'Donnell screamed.
Rosie
thing
O'Donnell,
at the
I know
baseball
everybody
game.
understands.
Well, no, she specifically went and did the Star Spangled Banner, but just screamed the whole time and yelled it, and everybody hated her and booed her. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
going on.
Also, she's just a shit person.
yeah, I had to look up the Leanne Rhymes thing
Rosie
too, but
O'Donnell's
apparently
fucking
she had
great.
an
She's
affair.
hilarious.
She's disgusting.
Not Rosie O'Donnell, no, Roseanne Barr. Wait, who are we talking about?
Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, fuck her.
Yeah,
I thought it was
not
Barr.
Roseanne Barr.
Oh no, Roseanne Barr is fucking awesome.
Never mind. Okay. I
No,
was like,
Roseanne
what the
Barr is
fuck?
on this list.
Fuck you.
You're pissing me off for a
Well,
second.
it's not my list.
I know.
But yeah, I had to look up the Leanne Rhymes thing too because I was like, but yeah, she had an affair with a married man.
She calls Chris Gaines. Fuck her.
Yeah. So Angelina Jolie,
For adopting all them babies.
no, for causing the
Not
breakup
nice.
with Jennifer.
Oh, Benifer or whatever.
Yeah. Roseanne Barr, Russell Crowe, because apparently he was just beating the shit out of everybody. He was like,
What did they deserve it?
Probably.
paparazzi.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, he was always beating the shit out of people. Bill Clinton. We know why. Paul Rubens. Woody Allen. Gwyneth Paltrow, which is
I stand by that.
on our hate list, and Julia Roberts. And
What the hell did she do?
apparently she is so hard to work with that when she worked on Hook, Steven Spielberg renamed her Tinker Hell. Apparently she is a fucking nightmare.
Oh my god, I wouldn't have thought that.
No. And like Gwyneth, this was before her Goop days, but apparently she doesn't know how real people are. So she just like assumes everybody has like $1 million and chauffeurs, and she talks to people that way, and it pisses everybody off. Like she
I'm going to
doesn't.
watch Contagion again tonight.
That-
I gotta watch him die again. It's fucking
Yeah,
hilarious every
like-
single time.
But she doesn't even realize that it's wrong.
I would say though, like, how was she raised? Because if she was raised,
Well, her
in an
parents are
environment like
famous
that.
too. So,
see,
It's not really her fault.
but it's not
She's
an.
Yeah, it is.
But no, it's still not an excuse.
Prince was raised. How was that any different? He was raised to be a musician by them, and they keep all this. See, that doesn't make any sense. Prince can be an asshole, but she can. No, Prince can't be an asshole, but she can because she was
Well,
raised.
no, I still
rich.
hate her. She still sucks. Use whatever,
Well, don't say it's okay.
whatever reason you need to.
No,
use.
say
Oh
she's
yeah,
a
I
twat.
fucking
Don't
can't
say she's
stand
okay.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, don't apologize for her.
let there be no mistake about our hatred for Gwyneth on this podcast.
I
Like,
think everybody here.
if it had been up to me, she would have been the most hated person.
The whole list would have just been her, and then 20 reasons why.
Why we hate her, and I could have come up with every single fucking one because I hate her. So, we did a poll because this was in no particular order. So I put this shit together and I put it on Twitter, and we did a poll, and it came down to O.J. Simpson and Woody Allen, and O.J. Simpson took it by what was it, 65%?
I think that's what you said.
65 to 35, O.J. Simpson. So, if you want to learn more about what an asshole O.J. Simpson was, listen to our Juicy Mormons episode, because we actually already covered that. It's a promo time.
Well, no, first I figured we'd talk about the bracket challenge that damn podcast
Yes!
is doing.
And
They don't have any kind of promo thing. We just said that we would do it. What is it 62 or 64 podcasts?
64.
There are 64 podcasts. We've all been pitted against each other in no particular order. There are going to be several challenges. First challenge, we are pitted against Brutally Honest Sports, and
Y'all are going down, motherfuckers!
well, really, this won't even post until after the winner is announced, so we're probably gonna. I'm leaving that in. We're gonna get knocked out in the first round. But so the first challenge, we have to make a meme, like making fun of them or
Yeah.
whatever.
And they have to make a meme.
I tell you
So
what,
they have to make a meme about us, right?
and we have to do one about them.
Okay.
My favorite thing, I have two, and they both involve corn, which is really weird.
Which is why I think that
the
our
one-
meme needs to involve corn.
The one guy that's eating the corn like a banana.
Michael Bublé.
No, I don't know who it is.
I think it's Michael Bublé.
That is not Michael Bublé.
I think it is.
That makes it even better.
Did you not know that?
It's just a random dude at like a
No, I
sports
think that's.
But that's our banner or whatever on our Twitter now. You'll see that guy eating the thing. And then there's another one where it's George W. Bush. And he's holding the thing of corn and it says, "There's something wrong with this banana." That's my favorite. I laugh at that shit every time I see it. So we gotta do something with corn, I guess, for these guys.
That is my thought. It has to involve corn.
But so whoever wins this one, blah blah. I mean, they did the whole bracket, and if you do sports, you know about brackets. So I saw the thing. I don't know how it goes, but if we win, we'll move on to the next round, which is whatever. I don't know, but
At some point, we get to make a diss track if we move on.
yeah.
So,
if we move on,
hey, vote for us if you want to hear the diss track.
It'll already be over by the time this
I know,
releases.
right? Yeah, it will be.
Alright, so I guess it's promo time this week. We got game for movie.
Our favorite people in the world. We love them so much.
Here's their shit.
You know what that sound means? It's another episode of Game for a Movie, where we ask, are you game for a movie?
Tell me, Andre.
There's no special features on that goddamn DVD, alright?
For Hansel and Gretel?
Hansel and
You
Gretel.
have a DVD
Yeah.
of Hansel and Gretel.
She basically has sex with it somehow.
Uh,
Foreplay.
yeah, yes.
She's chair foreplay.
I mean, they knocked it out of the park, which is why it's my number 3. So.
Oh!
I mean, I wouldn't be in it because this movie doesn't have women. But, you know, it's
You-
fine.
It has
It's right.
It has one.
You would have 3 lines of dialogue.
No, she has more than 3.
Oh, okay. So I'm actually gonna get, I earn my 4 sentences of dialogue rather than, here, have a paycheck. You just stood there on the screen. You're a sexy lamp.
Anyway, we're not.
Dark Phoenix 2.
No.
No.
Because they really hate each other, so we get to enjoy some wonderful comedic scenes of them hating each other so much that they get into physical altercations that include her biting ex-detective Phillips's dick.
Okay.
But we don't in a hot tub.
I know all of those words were English, but the way you constructed them, I'm lost.
I'm not following the range of them very well. For those who haven't rated us or liked or given us a review, don't say that we haven't given you anything of value after listening to this podcast. You now know the difference between an R-rated dick and an NC-17 X-rated dick. You're welcome.
Thank you guys for listening to Game for a Movie, where we ask, are you game for a movie? We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Anybody else got anything?
I got nothing.
I do have one more quote from Empire Records. It's my favorite. Made famous by the amazing Ethan Embry. He goes, "We mustn't dwell. No, not today. We can't. Not on Rex Manning Day." So there you go.
I love it.
All right, y'all done?
Yes.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Happy Rex Manning Day.
Woo.
They're getting